Hey guys, real quick before we start the video, I'm working on a top 10 list of the best new Cars Diecast of 2024, as chosen by my viewers. So, if you're interested and would like to vote, please click the link in the description and vote for who you think the best new release of the year was. Now on to the video. Ernie Gearson is easily one of the most hotly anticipated re-releases of 2025, and why wouldn't he be? Since 2018, Mattel has been re-releasing all of the Cars 1 Piston Cup racers, and we now have only 2 left that we need to get again. Those being Ernie Gearson and Eugene Carbureski. And a lot of fans will also group Ryan Shields alongside those two because he doesn't have a Thailand variant, and also his 2018 release never hit the US. After a great year in 2023, where Johnny Blamer and Misty Motorcraft both returned, we got no new Piston Cup Racer re-releases for 2024. Even though we got like 10 Cars 1 Piston Cup Racers re-released in 2024, none of them were the ones that we didn't get before. So when people saw that Ernie Gearson was coming back, and it later leaked that Eugene and Ryan would be coming back as well, everyone went nuts. Everyone was so excited. And Ernie Gearson was really our first hint that 2025 was going to be an insanely good year for re-releases. And trust me, after Ernie Gearson, somehow re-releases get better. Somehow. Guys, bye-bye Cars coming back this year. Like, come on, this is going to be one of the best years for re-releases ever. This item, Ernie Gearson, his Cars 1 variant, has not been out since 2014, so a lot of people were really excited to get their hands on him, myself included. I don't have any other Ernie Gearson variants, and I need him, of course, to continue to complete my Piston Cup collection, and I'm super excited to have him. Now, this item was really hard to find for me. His wave started hitting Target stores in November of 2024, and I saw that wave at least like 6 or 8 times before I found Ernie Gearson. Yeah, like 8 times. I saw it at several different Targets across several different weeks. I saw it restocked. I got the other cars I needed from the wave, Logan Gierzal and GRC Carlo Veloso. Reviews for those will be coming soon. And I never saw Ernie. That was until I went to a local toy store on New Year's Eve, and I finally picked him up. Since then, I have seen several Ernie Gearsons at some Walmarts, but I actually still haven't seen him at Target just yet. Now, I know what you're thinking, Ty, you said you got this on New Year's Eve, but it's like January 12th. It's almost 2 weeks into the year. Why did it take you so long to review him? Well, I've been kind of taking a break from doing reviews on the channel before I get into all the ones I have to review right now, and I gotta say, it's been a pretty nice break. I've been spending it pretty well. I've learned how to crochet. I've played way too much Marvel Rivals. I can't believe I just bought that. And I've accumulated even more cars to review. Yeah, it's going to be a pretty busy time on the channel in the next few weeks. But now it's finally time to take a look at one of the most hotly anticipated Cars Diecast re-releases of all time. It's been 11 long years since we last saw Cars 1 Ernie Gearson. Welcome back, buddy. Hello, everybody, and welcome back to another review, and to another 2025 Cars Diecast review. Today, we're going to be taking a look at Cars 1 Ernie Gearson, so let's get started. Super excited to add this item to my collection. It feels like it's been so long since I've gotten a Cars 1 Piston Cup Racer. Last one I got was Misty Motorcraft, who I got last February, and it's going to be kind of crazy to finish my Cars 1 Racer collection this year, with the exception of the Apple car, of course. For those of you who don't know, I didn't have many Piston Cup cars growing up because back then they were all exclusive to those Kmart events, and I didn't know those were a thing when I was 4 years old, right? So when I started getting into sort of hardcore Cars Diecast collecting around the time I started my channel, that was when I started getting all my Piston Cup cars. And over the years on my channel, I've been collecting all the Cars 1 Piston Cup racers, and it's been really great to see their commitment to re-releasing all of them across these years. It allows collectors like me to get a full collection, and it's been so fun to document my journey buying all these guys. One of my rules for collecting is not to order Cars 1 Piston Cup cars online because, you know, it's been pretty obvious that they're all coming back, and it's nice to have my patience rewarded here, getting Ernie Gearson in store. On the back of the box, we have some Cars 1 re-releases for this year, some pretty standard ones. Billy Oil Changer, certainly a highlight though, last out around 2019-2020. Also see Winford with that really interesting new render for him they started using back on what the 2022 poster, was it? Anyway, let's get this guy out of the package, free him from his plastic cage, and bring him out into the world, where he will then sit on my shelf forever. Not much of a different existence for him. Poor guy. So here is Ernie out of the package, and he looks pretty standard for a Thailand variant using the leakless mold. As far as Cars 1 Piston Cup racers go, I feel like you don't get much more generic than Ernie Gearson. He doesn't have all that much detail on him, just a couple of basic logos. I'd say he's one of my less favorite Cars 1 Piston Cup racer designs, but I don't know, I really like his coloring. It is a pretty unique one, and the concept of a mint company sponsoring a Piston Cup racer is pretty clever and unique and different. I will say, though, the Cars 3 variant of Ernie Gearson is certainly a really great improvement. I just recently reviewed this for 25 Days of Suggestions. Really had a glow up here. Just don't ask me how his body shape completely changed. He must have a fantastic plastic surgeon. Anyway, as you can see, we've got the Spearmint logo there on the hood. Back in the day, you had a group of people that thought the sponsor was called Spare Omen because of the wheel in the middle, and a group of people that thought it was called just Spearmint. Turns out those people were right. I think back in the day, I was on Team Spare Omen, but then Cars 3 came out, and they started using 2 O's on the hood, and then the next gen, Nick Shift, came out and just had the word Spearmint written out. So, you know, there was no O anymore there. We have the number 93 there under the headlight. Something really cool that I noticed on his card back that I don't think I've ever seen on any Piston Cup car before is you could actually see the detail of the decals of the fake headlights, and also looks like maybe a decal for a fake grill, which is pretty funny. It's honestly really crazy to see that on the render. I don't think I've ever seen that on any Piston Cup cars before. That detail isn't even on the diecast itself, and it kind of blew my mind because I don't think I ever realized that some of the Piston Cup cars have fake grills. I thought only Chick Hicks's Pitties had fake mustaches. How could you, Ernie Gearson? You're faking facial hair, Ernie Gearson. Ernie Gearson's one of those people that would take Tumblr photos where they drew a mustache on their finger and put it in front of their face in like 2012. So that's why we haven't seen Ernie Gearson since 2014. He's stuck in the past with a bad photo trend. All right, anyway, pretty generic facial expression. You've seen it before on all the other cars of this mold. Moving on to the side, I really do like how the mint leaf continues up by the window. Sort of detail you don't really see on many Cars 1 Piston Cup cars, because a lot of them do just have these very generic pieces of graphic design that do often appear dated. But this looks pretty good, although again, just the blankness, the lack of stuff going on Ernie is definitely a little bit dated. It feels very sort of 90s, early 2000s graphic design compared to, you know, the Cars 3 one. It's a very simple design, but not in the sort of oversimplified design style that we're used to seeing nowadays. This is a very 90s, 2000s aesthetic he's got going on here, which makes sense because this is a car from a movie from 2006, which is almost 20 years ago, which is the scariest thing I've said all week. Anyway, on the side, we've got all the secondary sponsors we're used to. The Piston Cup, Nitro and Revolting, Octane Gauge, Mood Springs, Vitaline, No Stall, Gaskets, Gasperin, Easy Idle RPM, Little Torquey Pistons, Leakless, Retread, and Clutch Aid. Sometimes I think about what would happen if this was the first review somebody ever watched from me, and I'm just talking at a normal speed the whole time, and suddenly I read off these super fast. Like, I'm just so used to it at this point. It must be, like, I wonder if it's ever been disorienting for someone. If you're in that camp, please let me know. I'm sorry. But, like, watch out, Eminem, because I'm about to re-record a Rap God, but make it about Piston Cup sponsors. Anyway, we got the leaf up here. I really like how it's just sort of printed on the roof. Starts down here, goes across, not on his eyebrows or anything. Just there on the roof. Spearmint logo there and there, with a bit of a white highlight behind it, which is pretty fuzzy, but I think that's just a Thailand printing thing. You could also make out the gas cap there between the A and R. Oh, I didn't realize he had all this going on back here. Several other mint leaves printed on the back. And maybe it would have worked a little better if you put those in other locations like here, or maybe a bit more on his hood. Parts where I said that it feels like not much is going on with him. There's a look at the other side, and finally there is a look at the base. It's just so crazy to have this in my collection now. It genuinely feels so weird. Like, every once in a while when I get a rare car, it'll feel so strange to just hold it in my hand. And I've never really felt that way for just a regular Piston Cup racer, a regular old re-release. But with how long we've waited for Ernie Gearson and how hard it was for me to find him in store, I'm really happy to have him. Even if he's not one of my favorite Piston Cup racers, honestly, I think this whole experience, waiting for him for so long, checking stores again and again, being so satisfied when I finally found him, I think that made me like this item a whole lot more than maybe I would have before. It really made me grow a bit of a connection to Ernie Gearson. So Ernie Gearson, I like you. I like your Cars 3 variant. Why don't you come over for dinner sometime, buddy? Well, you know, I don't know what you eat. You're a car. I could teach you how to crochet. I learned how to do that recently. I'm making a Yeti. I gotta make his arms and his mouth still, but, you know. Anyway, guys, thank you all so much for watching. I'll see you guys next time. Bye now. This design is so cool, but it just cost me $20 to get. But you know what? Now that I featured it on my channel, maybe I could use this as a tax write-off.